Do you have items in your craft stash that are neglected and unused, but you can't bear to get rid of them? Welcome to Use It or Lose It, a weekly YouTube series where I'll dive into the products that you have lying around in your craft room and the products I have lying around in mine. After I've created something, I'll decide if I think I'll use it again or if it needs to give up that precious space in my stash, and I hope you'll play along. Hey guys, it's Jen and welcome to the second episode in my series called Use It or Lose It. Today we're going to talk about washi tape. So you can see this is the most requested item I've had to put on this series. So I decided to do it today, and you can see I have a lot of washi tape. I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of washi tape. It's so cute. It's so fun to collect, but there's so much on each roll that you barely go through any of it. And there's lots and lots of ways to use washi tape, and I have lots of ideas. I'm just going to show you one today, and then at the end of the video I will show you some more, or I'll give you some more ways to use it and examples. But today I'm going to use it on my scrapbook layout, and I just wanted to say really quick, these are the drawers that I keep on my desk next to me. This one's all neutrals, so that includes gold and that kind of stuff, and then this one's colors. But I have this whole box full of washi tape that my friend CJ, she's ordered me from AliExpress, and there's so many in here too that are so cute, which I just can't fit in here, so I just leave them in there. But I have a lot of washi tape. You can see that. I've purged my washi tape several times as well, and I still have this much. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm starting with some old photos that have heavy Instagram filters on them, and I've just mounted them on some white cardstock. These are photos of my daughter creating a little sculpture in her art class. This was back in 2012, so it's been quite a while. And I kind of made it look like it's a photo reel, not a reel. I can't think of the name right now, but I'm pulling out some different washi tapes because what I want to do is create, well, at this point what I want to do is create kind of like a little shelf for each one of these rows of pictures to go on top of. So I'm just looking through all of my supplies, and I decided, because this was about her art class, that I would pull out the washi tapes that I had that were kind of watercolory, and I have quite a few, but obviously you could use any kind of washi tape that you have, and you can still do the same thing. I did make sure to get different widths of washi tape because I like the variation. And so you can see I'm just putting aside the ones that I think I'm going to use. And because these photos are so kind of browny and yellow, it's not a big deal. I can add a lot of color here, so that makes me happy. Okay, so I'm putting this one down, and what I'm going to do with each one of these is I'm going to rip it because I really like the texture that you get on the bottom when you rip washi tape. And I first saw Missy Whitten do this, and it really revived my love for washi tape for a while. And so I think that this is fun, but you could definitely just leave them straight if that's more your style, and I've done that too before. But I'm just kind of overlapping them. One of the things I really love about washi tape is that it's a little bit transparent, so you get you get the layering, like the layering is really interesting when you put them on top of each other a little bit. And I was thinking about using a white background for this layout, but instead went for this text background just for even a little more interest. And you can see this is from crepe paper, and you can see that there's they often put like little old pieces of tape on their papers, so it kind of lended to that. So I'm just going through the different washi tapes and, like I said, ripping them in half. It works really well if you leave the tape on the roll and then just rip it as it's unrolling. I don't know if that makes sense, and maybe you'll be able to see it here when I do this one. Sometimes washi tape's hard to get off the roll, am I right? Oh, you didn't see it. Well, I'm sure I'll show it in a minute. But I'm just kind of getting an interesting look. I'm kind of making the lengths of the washi tape varied. You could do this in a straight row down the page if you wanted to, or you could vary it even more than I did. You could have them coming out from the sides, like have the washi tape going all the way to the edges. I think that would be cool too. So it just depends on what you want to do, but there's lots of ways that you can kind of customize this for whatever you want. And based on the washi tapes you use, it will definitely look different. So here I've jumped ahead a little bit and I've added some more layers. Like I said, I'm just going through, ripping my pieces of washi tape and then placing them down. So originally I thought I was going to do 3 shelves, but then I decided that I would make this whole area filled in with washi tape. So now I'm kind of filling in those spaces because I'm just going to have it go all the way up and down the layout rather than just underneath the photos. But you definitely could still do it just underneath the photos, and it looks great. I've done it too. So again, this is just all about ripping your washi tape and just placing it down. There were some that were a little bit too small to rip, and I just left them regular. The bottom edge is straight, and that's okay too. Especially that teeny tiny one that has the little squares, the one that I'm using now. That one would have been really hard to rip in half. So yeah, I'm just not doing it. As I'm still putting tape down, I just wanted to remind you that if you have something in your stash that you want me to show on my Use It or Lose It series, then let me know in the comments so that I can put it on my list. I've got lots of ideas, but I want to know more. So just leave a comment in the video comment section below if you have an idea for something that I should do. And now I'm just kind of placing my photos on, and I'm trying to see where I need to add some tape. And I felt like at the top I needed a little bit more, so I'm just peeling the pieces off the washi roll. And when you rip this in half, you get 2 pieces, right? Because you've got a straight edge on both sides, and so you can use both edges of it, if that makes sense. And so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm thinking it's pretty good now. I'm straightening some stuff up. It doesn't really matter if it's straight, but in this instance, I kind of wanted it to. And I really like how the way that I've layered these and the way that it's ripped and stuff, it almost looks like paint strips, which is like painted stripes, which is cool because, again, this is a layout about her art class. And you may have seen, or you may not have, that I pulled out, I have one that's just white, a washi tape that's just white, and that gives kind of like a masking tape effect. It's really very easy to use. Okay, so now I'm doing another technique with a washi tape. I've put some glitter washi tape on a piece of cardstock, and I'm just using a circle punch to punch out some little elements that I can use for embellishment. And I also have like a flat colored gold washi tape, and so I punched some stars out of that. So with the thicker washi tapes, or even if you just have a washi tape that when you put it together it doesn't look too bad, like the edges together, when you put the 2 edges together, I mean, then you can punch different shapes out of them. And you could also cut them on the silhouette, but this time I just used punches. So that's a fun way to get stuff used up. So I'm trying to decide what I want my title to be, and I liked this word create. I'm not sure about the black, but I'm going to put it on some wax paper to see if I like the way that it contrasts with this. And I kind of do, but I'm not exactly feeling it. So I'm going to be like shuffling through my different letter stickers and things like that, because I want to do Born to Create, and that's the title I wanted to go with. So I paused the video while I went and dug through all my stickers to see what I wanted to use. And I have these chipboard alphabets from Felicity Jane, and I like the way that they have a black line on them, but they're white. So they still stand out, but they're not so heavy. Then I decided it might be fun to use some of the word stickers that I have to create a title that says make, create, dream. And so I'm just kind of playing around with the things that I have. That word make that's in wood veneer is from an Ali Edwards story kit that I've gotten in the past. And the thickers that I'm putting on now are from Chamel. And I will always link to all the products that I can find in the video description. So if you want to shop those products, you can. They are affiliate links, FYI, but it doesn't cost you any more. It just helps me out a little so I can bring you these videos. And at this point, I was thinking I might want to change the color of the word dream to make it rainbow so it matched the word make, that chipboard piece that's above it. But instead, I decided to make the word make white. So what I'm doing is I pulled out my Versamark ink. I'm kind of pressing the wood word into it, and then I'm going to pour on some white embossing powder from Zing, and then I'll heat it up. And I think embossing is so fun. I like the fact too that there are going to be 3 different textures in my title. So we've got the embossed wood veneer, we've got chipboard, and we've got foam, and I really like that. So I'm just letting my heat tool warm up before I put it on this, and you can see that it's already turned white. I want it to have one more layer of the white so that it's completely filled in. There are some little spaces that aren't, and so I just poured more on, and I put Versamark on and then poured more powder on. And you want to make sure it's completely dry before you try to do that. And then I'm just going to heat it up, and it's going to be nice and white and like solid. So I really like that idea of a title. So now I'm kind of thinking my title will be Born to Make, Create, Dream. And I like that. So I'm kind of playing around with the stars here. I'm trying to decide if I want to use 5 or 2, and I'm trying to make them go in a cluster with the circles. At this point, I'm thinking I'm going to use them, but I'm having a hard time with them, and you'll see what I do in a little bit. So I remembered I had this chipboard from my Create Story Kit from Ali Edwards from a while back, and I haven't used it all, and there were numbers on there, and there are more photos than there are numbers, but if I found that if I put the chipboard circles in between each photo, that I had just the right amount, and so I just decided to do that because the photos are a progression of her piece of art. So I'm starting to glue things down now, trying to make things straight, and then I will get those chipboard pieces put on. And I want you guys to tell me really quick while I'm gluing these down. I've been thinking about creating a Facebook group for us all to share things that we do each week with the use it or lose it subject. So like if you guys wanted to post some layouts that you made with your washi tape and how you made a dent in your stash, or if you're going to use or lose something, we could all post them there. But I have a lot of Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and I'm sure you all do too, and I don't want to just be another group. So if you comment below and just let me know if you would be interested in a Facebook group or if you're good. And either way, it's fine with me. I just something I was thinking of. Okay, so now I'm playing around with those stars again, and I think what's wrong, I know what's wrong, is that the stars are almost the same size as those circles. The circles have a pinked edge, by the way. They're almost the same size, and so it just looks like it's too heavy. So while I'm thinking about it, I'm moving on to what I do know for sure that I want to do, and that is the title. So I'm just putting that down, and I realized it was a little bit off balance. I wanted the words to be all centered, and so I needed to move the word create over just a little bit. So I'm doing that, and I'm going to glue down the word make with some Scotch quick dry adhesive. I have that in a fine line bottle, and I always link to that in the video description so that you can find the empty bottle and put whatever glue you want inside. Okay, so here I've gone through and found a few more things that I want to use. I love that in progress half circle. That was from the Ali Edwards Create Story kit chipboard pieces. And I think that looks really nice. And I'm just looking at some other things I had pulled out before to see if something there is going to match. I flipped through this Chamel sticker book to see if there was anything there that I wanted to use. I was kind of thinking I might want to use smaller stars, so I was thinking that there might be some small gold stars in these collections that I found, but there's not. So I just moved the stars off to the side, and I'm thinking now that I want to mimic the word create somewhere else on the layout, and at the top really, because I have it in the bottom left. So I remembered I had these letter stamps from Ellie's Studio, and I think they're called Stanley Mini or something like that. And so I stamped all of the letters to the words in art class, so that's kind of a subtitle, and I'm hand cutting them out. They're pretty tiny, but I think it was well worth the effort. And you can see in the R's, I'm even using my little Tim Holtz knife thingy. What is razor blade? It's not an X-Acto knife because that's a brand, but anyway, I'm using that to get out the centers of the R's, and really I only needed one R, so I didn't need to cut out both of those. So yeah, then I'm just going to use my micro tip scissors from Close to My Heart and cut those out. And they look perfect. They match so well with those letter stickers that I was so happy with that. So you can see it kind of there at the top. I also went ahead and typed up my journaling on my typewriter. And you could do it on your computer as well if you wanted to. And this is going to be the other element of black and white that's going to be on this layout. And the background of the layout has words on it, so I knew that I wanted to place these word strips in the center of the photos. So I'm just using the little amount of space that there is between each row of photos to put my journaling on. And I like the way that it ends up looking, and I think I cover up, you can see I cover up a bit of washi tape, but I'm trying to use it up, so who cares, right? And you can see it poking out of all the sides, and I think it turned out really nice. So at this point, I'm trying to decide like how I want the journaling to bounce. Like if I'm going to have it all go down the center, or if I'm going to move some to the side. I thought about putting these over on the side above my title, but I kind of don't like the way that the journaling is running into the title, because I knew I wanted to put what was I going to put? Made to, make, create, dream. So, or meant to. I can't remember what I put. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. Anyway, above the word make. And so I didn't want that, my journaling to run into my title. So I decided to kind of take it down the right-hand side. And now I'm getting a kind of diagonal sort of look with the journaling, which I'm good with. And at the bottom, I didn't mention this, but I did put a puffy sticker that's squiggles, which I thought was also kind of artsy. And here I did go ahead and on my typewriter, type out the words made to, or born to. That's what I did. Born to, make, create, dream. Okay, so now I'm going to glue down my art class subtitle at the top, and you can see how well that matches with those letter stickers. I love it. And if you didn't want to cut those out, obviously you could put them on a different piece of paper. I have to apologize a little bit for the lighting in this video. I don't know what's going on with my lights and my setup, but I'm going to have to check it out. So I put all of the little circles up on foam tape, and you can see that I ended up putting the number 5 on top of the circle at the bottom right, and that just kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. That's the main focal photo, so I think that made sense. And I put a little chipboard piece that says I made this below the little sculpture. And now I'm going back to my washi tape that I had punched the stars out of, and I'm punching smaller circles. And I really like this better, and I like the mix of the glitter and the matte gold foil. And so I'm using another punch. This is the size of a hole punch. It's a old punch from Stampin' Up. So I'm using them kind of like, they almost look like confetti. And so I'm just going to kind of play around with the placement of these and sprinkle them all around the layout. And I like that there's 3 sizes. Those stars just were way too big, and I didn't have a punch that was smaller, so I didn't use it. But I could have cut it out on my silhouette or something if I really wanted to, but I just was being lazy and wanted to use a punch. So here, again, I'm just kind of figuring out where I want the circles to go. I don't want them to be all like crazy willy-nilly everywhere, but I kind of want them to have a cascade down the page a little bit. And so I'm just being a little fussy for where I want them to go. But I love this idea of using a washi tape to punch an embellishment out of. And you can even use the smaller washi tapes if you have a small punch to make this too. And it would be fun with a print if your background was more simple. But, you know, mine's a little bit crazy, so I wanted to keep the embellishment to mostly just gold. So now I'm just gluing those down. The washi tape's on a piece of paper, so I need to glue those down. And I'm using my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive again. And this is almost going to complete my layout. I'm going to add some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. And I'm going to add a few more dots because I felt like it needed more. So they kind of do go from the top to the left to the right. So it's kind of a little bit of a zigzag, which I'm good with. And I just keep punching for spaces that I feel like I need to fill in. And I really like the way that it's looking. I hope you'll try this punching out of your not vellum, washi tape, because I love it. And I've done it before, but it's been a long time, so I was glad to have that challenge for myself to use the washi tape in different ways. All right, so at this point I decide to pull over my sewing machine, which just sits on my desk, and I'm going to do some stitching through the white words that are outlined in black, both the ones that I stamped and the chipboard pieces. And that's just to add a little element of another element of texture, and it's also to show you how else I use washi tape in my scrapbooks. So I usually pull my threads through to the back of all of my layouts, and then I keep a roll of washi tape on my desk in a tape holder, one that I don't use anymore or don't use very often. You can see it there. That's from the Target Dollar Spot. Anyway, and then I just put it on the back to hold the threads down. So that's another way that you can use your washi tape, which I think is a good idea. All right, so here's where I'm going to go ahead and put on the Gold Color Shine. And really, after I'm done with that, this layout is going to be finished. So I hope you will create something with your hordes of washi tape this week, and if you do, be sure to tag it Crafty Use It or Lose It on social media, and tag me at Crafty Jen Schow. I'm going to go ahead and show you a few other ways now that you can use your washi tape. Here I'm just using a piece of scrap paper to show you, taping down different widths of washi tape onto the paper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some spray mist and spritz this, and this is going to act like a little mask for my paper. So you're going to see the pattern coming through where the washi tape was. And the great thing about washi tape is it's pretty removable from paper, so you can do this kind of thing without ruining the thing underneath it. The other thing I wanted to show you that I use washi tape for a lot is to just tape down my dies before I put them through the die cut machine if I needed something in exactly the right place. On this layout, you can see how I used it on the title. I just put strips of washi tape on the letters and then trimmed off the edges, and I love that look. Often I use washi tape as a border between two papers, and it kind of helps join them together. You can see that here and in the previous one. Here I've used the washi tape as tape to look like everything's taped to the page, and here as well, the taped photo with the white washi tape. You can also create fun effects on your die cut shapes by putting washi tape on half of them, which I think is a fun idea. You can also use washi tape folded in half as a little flag on a paper clip, which I think is a really fun idea as well. Here are photos of my final layout again. I hope that you have enjoyed this lesson, and I hope that you'll come back next week to see what we're going to try to use or lose. I've decided to keep using my washi tape, but maybe you lose some of it because I have so much. So let me know in the comments below if you are going to use or lose your washi tape, and we'll see you again next week.